So I've actually gotten a radio control vehicle that isn't a fail vehicle, or hopefully isn't a fail vehicle. This is a Cobra RC Large Elite Helicopter, because apparently they have small and mid-sized ones as well. L99 270. From what I've read on the internet, it's a little bit like the Cyma S107. The chassis looks similar. There are a lot of videos for the Cyma, and the only videos I found for this were in Spanish, and I couldn't make much sense of them. So, yeah, it's fully assembled. It's got 2 lithium batteries in series in the nose. Lithium ion, it's got about a 10-minute runtime. Comes with a charger, which is good because you don't want to charge lithium unless you know what you're doing. And it's pretty basic, plugs into a wall wart, then plugs into the bottom of the copter. You know, it's got like a little key on it for what the lights mean. And for the charging light, it says if the light is black, it's out of battery. It's flashing, it's charging, easy enough. It says indicator light red, full charge. Well, that's nice, but the indicator light is actually green. Anyway, it's got a gyro on it, on the top rotor, and came with some spares. It's got some extra blades, blades for the back, an extra gyro piece, and one little link. Also came with the radio. It's pretty basic. It's throttle, and then the side to side, up and down. It's got a trim for side to side, which is nice. It's got this funny little switch. The controller says that it's a tail motor speed switch. The instructions say that it's like an advanced or beginner mode switch, so I assume it just changes the speed of the tail rotor for more agile versus more stable flight. You know, not bad. It's 27 megahertz. The box says 3.5 channel, the remote says 3 channel. I don't know what a 0.5 channel would do, so it's got these fake switches on it. They actually move a little bit if you wiggle them, so I don't know. I'm kind of curious to pop it open and see if the circuit board has like unpopulated spots on it for options it doesn't have. And yeah, the only real problem with it, it's got a little squeak, a little stickiness in the right stick, so I assume that's just needing to wear in, or it wasn't cleaned up properly. I'll sort that out when I pop it open. But I figured before I took it apart, I'd give it a quick run just to see. It's got a nylon or ABS or something, and then the rest of it is aluminum plate or aluminum tube. It's got a circuit board along the back here with LEDs set into it. They're like surface mount, but not even surface mount, they're like part of the board. It also has LEDs hidden in here, the 2 motors. This whole front plastic piece comes off, and it might need to if I need to trim the weight or anything. Antennas wrapped around down here, not clean, but you know, whatever. The last thing I've flown was actually an Estes Sky Ranger. It was a complete piece of crap. It only had one control, and that was the rudder, and that didn't really work. It barely flew well enough for me to crash it properly. So hopefully this works a whole hell of a lot better. I've tested it a little bit in but I figured I'd whack it into something and bust up the rotor, so I'm going to move it outside now. The instructions say not to fly it in anything under 50 degrees or anything above 113 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, if it's at over 113 degrees, I'm not going to leave the house. Unfortunately, it hasn't been above freezing here in about a month, so I looked up why it would say that, because of course the instructions didn't specify, and apparently it's something to do with the batteries, and if they freeze it's not good for them. But the runtime is only about 10 minutes, so I think it'll be just fine. These little connectors here, which are a bugger to do up one-handed. fine. There we go. And then it looks. Alright, stick all the way down, controller on, and speed switches up, trim is centered. Give it a shot. Ah. Don't fall over. Go home, helicopter, you're drunk. Balls. I think there's a bit of a breeze out here, which is probably the problem. There. So I've realized that part of the issue is that I can't fly for shit, but another part of the issue is, and one that I can fix, hopefully, is that the transmitter and the receiver don't always talk immediately. There's sort of a delay. I'm not sure, maybe this is the beginner mode is on, and it's like trying to smooth out my commands. Or maybe, I mean, I'd put rechargeable batteries in the transmitter, which are 1.2 volts per cell instead of 1.5. So I'm going to try it with alkaline chemistry batteries probably tomorrow. Pick up some of those while I'm out. And see if that makes any difference. I will say though, I mean, some of the stuff I read online said, you know, oh, it's horrible, it's fragile, you run it into something, it breaks the blades off. Maybe if you're dumb enough to try and fly it inside, but I mean, I ran this thing into a sprinkler head, and it didn't break any part of it. I mean, okay, yeah, I wasn't at full throttle, but the hinging action on these seems to be really well thought out. So, yeah, I'm not terribly impressed with the radio at the moment, but that might be my mistake, and I will figure that out soon enough.